What's poppin', y'all? It looks like one of Kendrick Lamar's biggest fans historically, none other than the Needle Drop, aka Anthony Fantano, who has given at least one time, if not two times or more, a 10 out of 10 album ranking to Kendrick Lamar's album. I know he gave a 10 out of 10 to Pimp a Butterfly. He has called out Kendrick Lamar on what he believes to be hypocrisy now. I'm gonna play you guys the clip first, and then we'll explore whether or not there's validity here.
The only conclusion there is to come to at this point is that Kendrick Lamar, when it comes to the morals he puts into his songs and the ones that he throws in people's faces as a means of endearing you to him, he selectively applies them when it's convenient for him and most to his benefit. If it allows him to build on his popularity and get a leg up on a competitor or tell a certain kind of story and narrative, he embraces it. But simultaneously, if it prevents him from doing a collab with an artist that might actually benefit his numbers and his appeal, then he's going to look the other way. That's how it all kind of reads, honestly. And I don't know, from this point, hearing him make commentary on this front is going to be a lot harder to take seriously because of this.
I find it difficult for anybody to try and argue what Anthony Fantano just said here. And this is difficult for a lot of Kendrick Lamar stands to face and Drake haters, but you got to take the facts as they are. Like, first of all, let's look at Kendrick Lamar's own mouth. Like, this guy back in 2015, when To Pimp a Butterfly dropped, he openly called himself the biggest hypocrite of 2015 in The Blacker the Berry. So that's something that's coming from him. On top of that, he recently, people were trying to make reasons for why he hated Drake. He just said, I'm the biggest hater. He doesn't explain why he hates Drake, although the stands tried to create some reason no, he hates Drake because of this and what he does, as if Kendrick Lamar is this brand that stands for something, when that's not the case. If we were to break down who Kendrick Lamar has collaborated with, who he has done things with, it goes far past allegations, which is the only thing that Drake has ever had. And this is the thing. Actually, there are minimal allegations towards Drake. It's just rumors that y'all throw on Drake's name. If we're keeping it a buck, there's that 17-year-old chick instance on the stage, which she even came out and spoke against and gave a huge paragraph that nobody wants to listen to. But cases, Drake doesn't have any that we know of. Meanwhile, let's look at who Kendrick Lamar has worked with as of late. First off, we've got Playboi Carti. What has Playboi Carti done? Well, he's put hands on multiple chicks, verified, his own baby mama, or actually no, some other he's put hands on chicks, verified. He got arrested for putting hands on chicks. So we've got that. We've also got, who else? No, another instance with Playboi Carti, we've got him, not an age gap, but there is a situation, actually, I don't even need to mention that one, actually, because you're going to get some people on here that don't know what they're talking about. They're like, well, actually, Playboi Carti was this many years old. No, he wasn't. It's a fake age. You guys, can't believe you guys still fall for that stuff when the real information is out there. But Playboi Carti's also a quote-unquote deadbeat. His baby mama, Iggy Azalea, has frequently said that he never spends time with his kid. He's always in and out. So Playboi Carti, he's done already. Just Playboi Carti is objectively worse than anything Drake has ever done or been accused of. Then who else do we have? Prior to GNX, we had Kodak Black. Kodak Black pled guilty, or he took a plea deal in a situation of a grape charge in South Carolina. This was one of the most heinous charges I had ever seen, and the description of it was so vivid, it was quite disturbing. He was facing 20 years for that. They somehow got him on some sort of deal for that, and he got off on that. And there have been other accusations towards Kodak Black that lean far worse than anything Drake has ever done. And then we've got who came out at the pop-out. Who did he bring out? None other than Dr. Dre, who he's been working with for over a decade. Dr. Dre has got strong allegations of him putting hands to work, and they are not on other males. Now, this isn't to say that I'm not listening to these people's music. I'm not telling y'all I'm a good person. I'm not telling y'all that, we need to ride out against Drake or anybody else because they're quote-unquote scumbags. Now, Diddy, that's a different story, dog. That guy was moving mad. He was moving disgusting. But I separate the art from the artist. But when you're a Kendrick Lamar and a lot of people are championing you because they feel like, oh, this guy's the good guy and those guys are the bad guys. No, you're nothing more than just a pawn. And this isn't just interpersonally that he's done this. He's done this and gotten hate on this from 2020. If you guys remember, back in 2020, there was the whole like George Floyd riots and all that. People started using protests as well. People started using Kendrick Lamar's All Right song as the backdrop for this. And he was getting called out by this girl who's also a rapper and activist and quite annoying, named No Name. And she was saying that Kendrick Lamar is somebody that's doing all this talking and all this rapping, but when it's actually time to show out on what he raps about, he's nowhere to be found. Eventually, he got bullied into doing a photo op and showing up and showing out, making sure everybody knew that he was there before he went back to becoming a recluse and just disappearing for the next couple of years before Mr. Morale would come out. Now, I don't personally have an issue with Kendrick Lamar on any of this. I look at Kendrick Lamar's music, and I think the hypocrisy is the beauty of it as well. Similarly with Ye, like you get to see this inner struggle of Ye, of him trying to be this God-fearing, good Christian man on like Jesus is King all the way back to Jesus Walks. And then you see him oscillate between that and an absolute disgusting, perverted, perverse deviant on the other hand, when he's got these easy raves and he's got his chick Bear out on the Grammy party and all of these other events like that. And you get to see how the music changes as well. Like you've got I Love It, and then you've got Jesus is King, and then you've got Donda, but then you've got Vultures. And I think that makes the music richer, because we're not or we shouldn't be looking towards an artist to lead some sort of movement. The artist is an artist. Political leaders, people that lead movements, are separate from that. It's just that people love and have such an emotional attachment to the music that they want to uplift and put this artist in a position of a political leader, a revolutionary leader, whatever it is that they deem to be like moral and righteous, when that's not what the artist wants either. And I think we see that with Kendrick Lamar, and I can't really blame Kendrick Lamar because he's open about it in his music. Now, he doesn't really talk about it too much because he doesn't really give out too many words or interviews in general, but I like that about him. We get to see a side, and that's why I like him being a hater. He's like, yo, I just can't stand this guy. I just don't like him, and I don't like the fact that he's up there. But what does he do that people find nefarious and a little bit dirty is that he weaponizes something that he thinks other people will hop on board with him, which is like, yo, he's not for the quote-unquote culture. He's not one of us. He doesn't ride with these principles that we ride with, which is like, yo, what are the principles, Kendrick Lamar? Would you mind mentioning them? Do you even follow your own principles? You talk about yourself being a hypocrite. So do you hate yourself as much as you hate Drake? And it just, I wouldn't say it airs jealousy, because jealousy, envy, I would consider a competition more than anything else. Like if you believe yourself to be better than somebody else, why wouldn't you feel frustrated if they're getting the fruits that you believe that you deserve? But for a lot of the fans that Kendrick Lamar has accrued in this time period, he did that by being, the guy's honestly, he's at war constantly in the game. That's how he looks at it. He's like, okay, how am I going to knock this guy off? And I'm going to use these tactics. It's funny because people want him as a political leader, yet he moves like a political leader. He just doesn't believe or take the role of it. Like, for instance, the way that he manages his PR, he's making sure that you guys see him as this savior, as this saint, as this guy that does no wrong, yet the other person, you continue to see him as evil and you try to tear down every tiny little thing you can find on him. Now, the best part about Kendrick Lamar is that you can't pull anything from his history. There's no mystery in his history, as a wise man once said. Was that YSL Mondo? I want to give him credit for that. I love that saying. So you can't really pull a chick out from Kendrick Lamar's history and be like, look, she's saying this about him, because he's been with his main for so long and she's held him down during that time period as well. And he's quiet. He's not going to go back and forth about it. And Drake has tried. That's why I say you guys can't pull anything out, because if nothing came out during that beef, I don't ever see anything coming out in the future. And they're probably paying good money to make sure it doesn't come out, because that guy's image is spotless right now. But the fans, I think they're in this trance that even when Kendrick Lamar does things that are obviously hypocritical from the material in his music through his actions, they just experience cognitive dissonance. And instead of looking back and analyzing it objectively like Anthony Fantano did here, they just choose to push it to the side, make an excuse for it, point the finger, give some whataboutism, like, yo, this guy worked with this guy, but that's not what we're talking about. That rapper doesn't portray his brand to be this safe, positive, like forward-thinking, preserving, and being a safe space for everybody that Kendrick Lamar does. It's I wish I could get angry at it, but I can't because it's just so brilliant. It's so well executed, and it's got everybody in a trance, and I can't help but smile at the level of manipulation he's been able to execute on these fools. And they will be here, they will be in the comment section, and they will be disliking, and I welcome it because it just further proves my point. Now, should I say that they should stop listening to Kendrick Lamar? No, my whole point is acknowledge to yourself, you don't have to do it to anybody else. Acknowledge, yeah, this guy's a hypocrite. He's human. He's a hater. He uses certain movements and whatever might be popular in a culture that he wants to tap into more and get them, or not tap into more, but get them more emotional and on his side and commit to him in order to further his own career and take down his enemies. If you can acknowledge that to yourself, that's fine. And then you can continue to listen to the music. But when you're saying, well, no, that guy's evil and this guy's good, that's when you might as well be a child. What is this, a Disney movie? Come on, grow up. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one.